Hello tarot lovers and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, you've come to the right place. My name is Elizabeth and on this channel we work on building our spiritual confidence so we can listen to our intuition and read our tarot cards with ease. And today I've come to the end of the card a day challenge. I cannot believe it. I have pulled a tarot card for 365 days of my A Card a Day Challenge workbook. This is the paper-based workbook that you can buy on Amazon. I also have an instant download version that is available on Etsy, and I also have a version that you can use in Goodnotes so you don't have to print anything and you can electronically draw all over it, and it has hyperlinks and everything to help you navigate your way through the journal. So you don't have to buy the journal to be part of the challenge. The challenge is free for everybody. I'm very aware at the moment because of the way the world is. I want to be inclusive. So if you don't have the money to buy a journal, that's okay. You can support me by watching my videos, and if there's advertising, watching the advertising and all of that sort of thing. Subscribe to the challenge. Connect with yourdeck.com/challenge. It is free. The challenge is free for everybody. And if you feel that you would like to purchase a journal, then that's a nice thing for me because it helps me to continue to teach the tarot and do what I love. So today I'm going to be taking you right through to the very end of the journal. So we're going to be, where are we going to be? I've got to remember where I put it in this journal. Right at the end, the very end. And I'm going to show you how to do an astrological spread, how the cards from the rest of the challenge informs the cards that I've used in my astrological spread, how I've reflected on the messages that have emerged over 12 months of doing this challenge, and how I've then reflected on those and pulled some more cards to come up with some messages for myself for the 12-month period. What's the main aim of the challenge? It's actually not really to do prediction. The challenge is really about, even more than reading the tarot, it's more about connecting you with your deck and getting to know the cards. One of the things that I found so difficult when I first started learning the tarot, and I'm actually going to put together a Tarot for Beginners course. So if you want to be part of that, make sure that you register for the challenge. It's free, and you will automatically, by the magic of the internet, go onto my newsletter list, and then from there you will be informed when my Tarot for Beginners course starts. And of course it will be the same model as I've used in other courses I've done, where there's a workbook and you can choose to purchase that workbook if you would like to support my work. Otherwise, all my materials go out on the web and you can watch everything. So what was I saying? Oh yes, so the idea of the challenge is really for you to have a personal connection with each one of the 78 tarot cards in the Rider-Waite-Smith. So how about I turn the camera around, show you my journal, which I've just completed. I'm so excited. And you can see how I laid out my cards, what I did, how I just looked at all the cards and worked out all the frequency of draws over the 365 days. And it was so much fun to do, I have to say. I'm sort of sad that it's over. After I finish this video, I'm actually going to go right back to the start, and I'm going to do a series of little 10-minute videos that take you through the whole challenge and explain to you my thinking, which has evolved so much from actually doing the challenge. I find these ideas percolate in my head, and then I think, oh, and it's that, and it's that, and it's that. So I'm going to do a little training, which will be free as well, to show you the challenge and show you the objectives and the main goals you should have to be part of the challenge as well. So let's spin the camera around. Let's not waste any more time. Let's spin the camera around and I'll show you my journal. I'll see you in a minute. So we are going to have a quick look inside my journal. Now, I've done many trainings on this journal, so I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail, but what I am going to do is take you all the way to the end, to the yearly pages, which if you purchase your journal through my Etsy shop, you get little pages like this. Now, these are the A4 that I have told my printer to print in A5. If you are in the United States, which many of you are who follow me, you will need to use US letter and ask your printer to print in half letter size. These pages, you basically print them out. You get a copy of this, but it doesn't have the subject or the topic of the month and the question, and you fill all that out. Whereas if you get my book, and as I said, I'm going to do a video on this, you get the topic and the question all done for you, and it's a great big thick book. So if you have trouble printing, this is the full version of the journal that you can purchase. And of course, you don't have to purchase the journal to do the challenge, as I said right at the beginning of my video. But of course, if you decide to purchase the journal, it does help my channel. So there's that. And also, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. I'm going to do a full video on this because I've just got to turn my iPad on. Hello, iPad, wake up. Oh, there it is. I'll give you a sneak peek. There it is there. Card a day challenge. Ooh, look at that. And this is made specifically for Goodnotes. So when you're looking in my Etsy shop and you see this one that looks all snazzy with all the links, it's for use in Goodnotes. If you are not going to be using Goodnotes, do not buy this one. Buy this one, which is specifically for printing. So I'm going to do a video on this particular one, so I don't want to waste time talking about that now because I want to talk about the yearly pages. And of course, as I said, you don't have to purchase the journal if you don't want to. It just helps me in my in the work that I do to pay for all the things that I need in behind the scenes to keep teaching you. So these are the yearly pages, and you can see here you've got a yearly summary page. Now it is virtually identical to the yearly summary page that you do for every month. And I've done trainings on every single month. I can't believe it. It's been so much fun. And here what we do is we work out all our percentages, which has been really interesting. Most of the time, they turn out pretty much as you'd expect. And as you can see here, the most cards in the deck are the majors, and then these are pretty evenly spread. I've probably pulled a few less pentacles than I have wands, cups, and swords, which is interesting. It might be that your results turn out to be quite different, and I have had monthly results where I've pulled hardly any cups or hardly any pentacles, and I've talked about that in those training videos. So how do you get all of these numbers? Well, what you're going to do is, if we look at January let's look at June, because I haven't got everything here. So let's look at June. So in June, I pulled 7 major arcana cards. So you can see here, I pulled 7 major arcana cards. I pulled 3 wands here. I pulled 5 cups. And you can see that here. And so you just transpose all the numbers you've already done and you add them all up like that. And then you just know that overall you pulled 93 major arcana cards. You pulled 185 minor arcana cards, which is the wands, the cups, the swords, and the pentacles. And you need to go back and look at your royal arcana cards, and you just subtract the number of royal arcana cards from the total of the minor arcana to make sure that that number doesn't reflect both, you know, you're not double counting, if that makes sense. And that just gives you some dispersion of your cards, which might be interesting for you or it might not. Then, of course, we know we had 69 wands, cups, swords, and 65 pentacles. If you want to do your percentages, you just write those numbers in here, divide by the number of days in the year and multiply by 100 to get your percentage, which gives you 100, you know, which all of these numbers should add up to 100%. Now, I know some people talk about things being more than 100%, like 200 and 300%. I don't understand it. I don't really, look, I just understand percentage. Percentage is your proportion out of 100 to give you an idea of, you know, like if you go into Etsy and I've got a 70% on sale on my shop, you know that you're only paying 30% of the price or about a third. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of how those percentages work. So the idea is for you to see if there's an anomaly there. Now, as I said, in my monthly spreads, I did have a couple of months where it was like that. You can see here they're all pretty even, so that's not really giving me anything interesting to take away. And that's okay. It doesn't matter. I've worked it out. It was fun working it out, and I learnt a little bit about maths as I thought about doing that. Then, of course, you've got all your repeating cards. Now, what I did with those was I literally went through, I looked at my monthly summary and looked at the cards that had the most repetition, and I put those in here. And of course, the total number of cards in my yearly spread is 365. If I did a leap year, back here, I've got my leap year pages. If I did a leap year, it would look like this. So this is the leap year page, and it's 366 because, of course, of the extra day in February. I don't read reverse cards, but if you read reverse cards, there's a little spot there for you to put your reversed cards. So that would mean some of, you know, you would have an even spread of some upright and some reversed. And you would then, you might want to put which ones were majors, which ones were minors, which ones were royal. All right, and of course there's some notes there if you want to do all your workings out in your journal and show everybody or be able to go back and look at it and see what worked when. All right, now where are we? That's my leap year page. Then if we look at these pages, how did I fill these out? Well, these are helping me come to a conclusion about what cards I want to use in my yearly tarot spread. Now, this is based on the astrological wheel, which is, just a sec. Oh, I'm so organised in a disorganised way. I know it's here because I saw it. What have I done with my book? Oh, here it is. Just when you think you've got it right there, you haven't. All right, so this is based on this, which is the astrological wheel of the year. Now, this is basically an astrological wheel like a natal chart. And of course, the Golden Dawn placed all of the tarot cards onto the astrological wheel as a way of making sense of them. Now, as I've sort of taught the tarot and read about it, a lot of the major arcana astrological attributions have stuck in my mind. The minor arcana ones are yet to stick, but I'm sure they will. The more you interact with the cards, the more these things will stick. But please don't go away and think you've got to learn it all off by heart, because you don't. It will not change the way you read. The reason we learn all this stuff is so that we can have a deeper connection with the cards. And as you get that deeper connection, that's when the reading will come. All right, so I just wanted to show you that. That is available in my Etsy shop, in my astrology cheat sheets, if you want one of these as a reference. And there are cheat sheets that go with it that talk about how these cards all fit onto the wheel. And after I've done our tarot and written and delivered my Tarot for Beginners course, we're going to do some work on tarot and astrology. Can't wait. So that's where that comes from. So we start underneath the midline with the first house, and we're using these little symbols, which those of you who've been following through doing my doing the challenge will be really familiar with. So these sheets, how did I fill them in? I literally went through through these sheets and found how often I pulled each card. So if you remember, what we were doing was putting together some, making some sheets that have some keywords in that mean something to you for each one of the tarot cards. So for example, with the Fool, if we look here on the, actually, let's have a little look, see if I can find one for June. Here we are, because I haven't got all my notes here because my folder started expanding at the seams, and that's another video I want to do for you on how to archive all your pages. So 21st of the 6th was the High Priestess. So if we go back into June, so I've only got June, July. I think I might have only June and July here, so because it just got too fat and I couldn't cope with it. 21st of the 6th. So we've got High Priestess here, and you can see the keywords were mystery, intuition, spiritual insight, and you can see I've got those here in the keyword section. So what I did was each time I did one of these sheets, I just took those keywords and I put them in here. So I know I pulled the High Priestess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And if we look at the High Priestess, I pulled that card 5 times. So that's all I've done is gone through. If we look at another example, Ace of Cups. So if I look at the cups here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So you might want to then spend some time thinking about when you pulled those cards. I mean, that's another way to look at your results. I haven't, but you can if you want to. How did I come to an understanding of what cards I wanted to have here? Because what I wanted was all the cards that I'd pulled really frequently. Because to me, over the 12 months, if I pulled a card really frequently, and as it turned out, I don't think there were any cards I did not pull at all. There were some I only pulled once, but there were some I pulled really frequently, like the Four of Cups. So what I did was I went through and I worked out I got all of these cards. Now, what I ended up doing was only using the ones that were above 5. And I essentially pulled them out of my Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. This is Barbara Moore's Classic Tarot, and look how teeny tiny this deck is. It's so tiny. So I wanted to use this one to just show you how I did the layout in a second. I normally would recommend that you use this deck because it has the traditional colours. This is just the Rider-Waite-Smith in the yellow box, and this is the deck that is just so fabulous for learning the tarot and using the Rider-Waite-Smith cards and becoming really familiar with the deck before you start using a different style of deck. Because you can find if you start with a different deck, it can get really confusing, mainly because a lot of the modern authors have their own take on the tarot, as Arthur Waite did. And when I do some videos and some training on the history of the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, I'll talk about that a lot. But for all intents and purposes, learning the tarot, Rider-Waite-Smith is a really good one to start with. So I pulled out of my deck all of the sort of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. And then what I did was I shuffled them and I laid my cards out. So if we have a look, I put 10 of Cups. King of Swords was the next one I pulled. Lay it like that. And then we start underneath the midline with the house 1, and we go widdershins or counterclockwise around the astrological wheel. So we start with the Self. I laid that one down, and and I just shuffled my cards as I went. King of Wands, etc. 4 of Cups. If I go through and find it, I probably could, and I went all the way around so that I could get a real sense of using the cards I pulled the most over the 12 months to actually lay this spread out. Then what I did was I recorded my spread in here using the symbols and I think I've got them here. I try to have everything ready before I'm filming. Here they are. So these are the symbols that I use to record my tarot spreads, and it makes it so much easier. Now you can make up your own if you want to, but essentially you've got here High Priestess, there she is, King of Wands, so you would use a wand, and then the K sign for King. If it was a Knight, you would use KN. If it's the Queen, you'd use Q. If it's the Page, you'd use P. And then the Four of Cups, you're going to use the cup symbol and the number 4 to signify that it's a 4. So I laid out all my cards, and then I did my interpretations. And what I did was I wrote about the card first, then I wrote a little section about each position, and then I wrote how I felt. So we're doing that process, and again, I want to do a lot more training on this with you, but there are trainings that are in all of my videos for each month. So if you're just starting, look up the video for each month. I'll make sure the playlist is in the comments. And of course, I will definitely have all this available for you if you register for the challenge. connectwithyourdeck.com/challenge. It's free to register, and all the trainings will come through to you in email, which just gives you that little prod when you're checking your email to make sure that you keep going with your tarot study. Because as I said to you, the key to it is a little bit every day. That's why we're doing our card a day challenge. So I wrote my little spiel about what it meant for me. Position 2, again, the challenge. Then I went into the houses. Now, of course, the astrological houses are part of this natal chart. They sit here on this natal chart, and they tell you about different aspects of your life. So when I was thinking about, I actually have a tarot planner, and I probably should put a link to that too, because that would be a beautiful thing for you to use after doing this challenge to further, think about how the tarot is leading you to set goals in your life. So I will put a link to that as well in the comments. And if I'm lucky, Prince Charming might even put a link in on the screen for you so you can click it and find it. That'd be good, wouldn't it? So the houses fit with, I don't know if any of you have done a Wheel of Life, because each house talks about a part of you and a part of your world. So we've got the self, resources, communication, home and family. They each have a zodiac that rules them, a planet, a modality. And when we do tarot and astrology, I'm going to take you through all of this. Keywords, and then I've done a little description of the house. And those of you who purchase my journal will have all of that, as well as some questions to help guide you with writing about your the house. And of course, I also have extra pages that you can use if you want to. You can print it so that you have this page and then a blank page on the back so you can do more writing. I tend to encourage less writing only because I know so many of you are busy, and if I start showing you pages and pages of writing, you're going to say, I can't do that, it's too much. And so I try to keep it as quick and as easy for you to do it as do the challenge and do my workbooks as possible. So house 2 is resources. So we've got the self, resources, communication, so the people around you, your local community, home and family, your creativity, the routines in your life, your relationships, not just intimate relationships, but relationships with close friends, your legacy, what you want to be remembered for, what you want to be known for, not just after you pass away, but now. What is it that's special about you? How you get meaning out of life. House 9. How do you bring those things into your life that cause you to recognize the wonder of the world? House 10, your reputation. And this is more about your success. It's about the things you're good at and how you celebrate that. House 11, the community around you. And House 12, obviously your spirituality, your intuition, what I call the universal energy, whatever that looks like for you. So basically what I did was I wrote about each card. So for example, the High Priestess is a card of inner knowledge and intuition. Rather than your thinking or conscious mind. This card is about knowing the deeper answers to the questions around you. So that's easy. You can write about your understanding of the meaning of the High Priestess. Then, and of course I have keywords, and I've got so many materials coming for you. The next one is an interactive journal on the meanings of the cards, which I'm so excited about. I've got so many things coming. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss my videos being uploaded. And better still, subscribe to my challenge, Connect with Your Deck /challenge, and that will automatically put you onto the newsletter list so that you don't miss all the fabulous things I've got planned. And they're all the same model, where all the learning will be out there in the mainstream so you can access it. And then if you choose to buy one of my journals or some of my cheat sheets to help you with your study, then that's up to you. All right, then I say the first house is the house that defines who you are, both your appearance and your personality. This is the house where you decide what you want for yourself. So again, here I've got the description there for you and for every single one of the houses. In a nutshell, makes it nice and quick for you. This card is my favorite card in the tarot deck, and I feel it represents me and where I am right now. And then I've written myself a little goal. Hold on to your sense of spirituality, so that by the end I've got 12 little goals to reflect on for my planning or anything else that I'd like to do. And of course, I've got my tarot planning journal that you can also use to flesh these goals out and make them more specific. What is it? SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, real, and timely. So I will definitely put a link to that as well for you as another, and there's a whole series of videos that go with that journal as well that you can access and watch, and it will help take you through that journal as well, even if you do it for no other reason than to help you learn the tarot, because it's another way of handling the cards and writing about them and connecting with them. So I hope that gives you just a way of rounding out the card a day challenge. I am feeling a little bit sad that it's come to the end. I've really enjoyed it. What I'm going to do now is a series of 10-minute videos that explain to you, probably in a little bit more depth, why I wrote the challenge, how to do the challenge, how to make it easy, and how to fill out all the aspects of the journal, how to read the cards, how to connect with them, what to do if you get a card that you look at the question, look at the card and go, uh-oh, I don't know what to say. So if you'd like to be part of all of that and part of my Facebook group and have all the free trainings and learn the tarot with me, please be part of my community, which is super easy. connectwithyourdeck.com/challenge. Please join my community. It's free. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.